Picture this. The year 1995. The consoles we've been playing, 16 bits. Now, having been accustomed to 16-bit consoles up until that time was a good thing. 16-bit consoles are still a great thing, but we were on the cusp of a great technology, and that technology was double the bits of any console that we had had, 32 bits. And the first of those consoles to roll out, Sega Saturn, May 11th, 1995. And around that time, we could have been anticipating commercials like this. Now wait, before I show you the clip, I suggest you get some popcorn out for some nostalgia. So if you don't mind, I'll get out of the way and let you enjoy the commercial.
People, this is not a test. We are at DEFCON 5. Alpha Sector. Check. Tango Sector. Check. Delta Sector.
Only Sega Saturn has 3 32-bit processors.
Delta Sector.
3 processors mean better gameplay.
Delta Sector, you hear me?
Sony PlayStation only has 1.
3, 2, 1.
When you've got Sega Saturn, nothing else matters.
Sega!
The date is May 11th, 1995 in North America. This day marks the release of one of the 3 major 5th generation 32-bit consoles. And on May 11th, 1995, the Sega Saturn was released. With only 4 games available at launch, it seemed like quite the weak release. And it only went downhill from there as time went on for the Saturn. The 4 games were Daytona USA, Clockwork Knight, Panzer Dragoon, and Virtua Fighter. To some, the starting lineup for the Saturn is that of a strong one. To others, this is a meager attempt at a launch. To me, the best game, and the one that everyone did not expect to be the best, was Panzer Dragoon. Panzer Dragoon is a rail shooter developed by Team Andromeda, and as mentioned before, was one of only 4 games available at the launch of Sega Saturn. The story in Panzer Dragoon is that your character is hunting with a pack of hunters, or so it seems, and gets lost only to somehow find a dying dragon pilot who transfers his thoughts to your character, and thus you must stop the rival dragon on its mission from wreaking havoc in the post-apocalyptic science fantasy type universe that you play in. As mentioned before, this game is a rail shooter, meaning that you move at a predetermined pace. You have different views that give a full circle or 360-degree effect that you control with the L and R buttons. You'll find yourself having to change the viewing angle quite often, so it's a good idea to keep your eye on the radar to let you know which view to change to. The game itself is relatively short, which is quite unfortunate, but this game is not lacking in action whatsoever. Panzer Dragoon has about 6 levels, and the last 2 you can only get to by playing on normal or hard difficulty, which I learned the hard way when getting the footage for this review. For a Sega Saturn game, this game is aged fairly well. Obviously the game was developed almost 20 years ago, but it has that 32-bit charm. And my favorite part of this game is the incredibly beautiful sounding orchestrated soundtrack. When the first level kicks in and the music starts playing, if you don't have chills, then something is wrong with you. Now I did mention earlier that this game is fairly short, but don't be fooled. This game kicks your ass, even on the easy setting, so if you're planning to play, you've been warned.
Although Panzer Dragoon didn't have the commercial success Sega would have hoped for, it did garner enough success to spawn a sequel, and Panzer Dragoon Saga, and Panzer Dragoon Orta. Now, Panzer Dragoon Saga is one of the most sought-after games, in a long time. It's very elusive, and it's very expensive too, so if you get your hands on it, consider yourself lucky. Although I think this series needs to be brought back to life, not on Kinect, or anything like that. Although in Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, there is a Panzer Dragoon themed racing course, which is awesome. And it's just kind of a tease, maybe one day we'll see Panzer Dragoon in glorious 1080p. Well, that's it for this time. See you next time.